Hey, tonight on the Game of the Week on the Valley Channel, we've got a cat fight. Yeah, Bobcats against Bobcats as the Skyview Bobcats host the Madison Bobcats from up in Rexburg. Madison is 7-2 coming into this game. They're 5-1 on the road, so most of their wins have come on the road. They're a heck of a ball club, and they're in 5A up there in Idaho, which is the largest division in the Gem State. They're a pretty good ball club. Skyview will have their work cut out for them tonight, and Skyview's smarting a little bit, coming off of a low-scoring loss against Bonneville right here at home, a 40-37 loss against the Lakers. It's in a game where Skyview just really couldn't get it going. Had a chance down the stretch, missed a lot of free throws, including with under 5 seconds left. They had a chance to go ahead on free throws and couldn't do it. So the Bobcats of Skyview will look to get back on the winning track against the Bobcats of Madison right here on the Valley Channel.
I have been up and down with my weight for my whole life. I've always wanted a body that looks like something very specific in my mind. Even when I was at my best, I never got there.
Today we're hitting the Fusion.
Over the last 3 months, I've lost 33.5 pounds of fat working out on the Fusion CST. I can do a 30-minute workout, and I have done cardio, strength, sweat my ass off, and I'm done for the day.
I'm your iFit trainer. Let's work.
It honestly felt like somebody was in the room encouraging me to push harder.
We're going in 3, 2, 1, let's go.
It felt like this person's attention is literally on me right now.
Who wants those abs? Who wants to
and
work
I'm going
for
to
'em?
push myself to not let them down.
We're hitting everything right
I
here.
never thought I would have abs. I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, there's a couple of abs.
Nice work.
I always had a vision of what I wanted my body to look like. I've achieved that now, and that makes me feel incredibly proud. Thanks to Nordic Track.
Wendy's is saying thanks for making the Junior Bacon Cheeseburger America's #1 bacon cheeseburger by giving you more of what you love. Introducing Wendy's Giant Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. Double the beef, double the bacon, and now it comes in a giant meal for $5 with nuggets, fries, and a drink. There's absolutely nothing junior about it, except the price. Get Wendy's $5 Giant Junior Bacon Cheeseburger meal before it's gone.
Bring back what you've been missing. Bring back Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology. Bring back what you've been missing. Bring back Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology.
So tonight, Bobcats of Skyview against the Bobcats of Madison. It should be an interesting game. And another one of those Idaho teams coming in and playing against Skyview. When I asked Coach Hilliard about that, they took a break from it last year, right, because of the new RPI. He wasn't sure how that was going to affect their RPI standing playing against those Idaho teams, because they've played against Madison and some of those other eastern Idaho teams quite a bit in the past. In fact, a couple of years ago, Skyview won against Madison 66-57 right here on this court. It's usually a pretty good game. But they took a break last year because of RPI, found out that, hey, if you're playing against a school in a state that borders Utah, then RPI is pretty much calculated the same way as playing against somebody within state. So it wasn't going to really hurt that RPI. And RPI is big for playoff positioning. The RPIs just came out this week, and Skyview checks in at number 7. So they're in that top 10, but you want as many, you want to be as high in that RPI as possible so you can play those first 2 games at home. So it's back to playing against the Idaho schools for the Bobcats, and they feel like they really give them good games and get them ready for region play, which starts next week.
Say the word space. Say the word mess.
The Game of the Week on the Valley Channel is brought to you by Icon Health and Fitness, changing lives with fitness innovation. Wendy's of Cache Valley, it's way better than fast food, it's Wendy's. Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, bring back what you've been missing. Palmer Home Furnishings, our low overhead means higher quality at lower prices. Aspen Dental, get that gorgeous smile you've always wanted. Custom Fence Company, privacy, security, peace of mind. Anderson Seed and Garden, growing better gardeners. The Logo Shop, we logo stuff, all kinds of stuff. KSM means music. Music is all we do. Factory Pizzeria, we're open late after the game. And the Valley Channel, Cache Valley's TV station for over 25 years. Nice little rendition of our national anthem right there as we get set to introduce the starting lineups for both of these teams. We were talking about some of the individual Bobcats. Don't forget about big number 55, double nickel, Evan Hall. He leads the team in points and rebounds. For the Madison Bobcats, Logan Crane, a 5'11 junior, wears number 0, will be a starter, along with Tyson Lerwill, another 5'10 senior. Crane is a junior. And now 3 seniors coming up. 21, Braxton Pierce, a 6'5 senior. Number 22, Tayden King, a 6'4 senior. They had a little trouble. They announced one of the wrong players. Everybody went, whoa, wait, what? And a 6'5 Eli Randall, another senior. Where's 23? Travis Schwab, the head coach for Madison. Tatum Neal, 6'1 senior, 7 points, 2 rebounds a game. Ike Larson gets the call tonight to start. 5'11 senior, 5 points, 2 rebounds, and nearly 2 steals per game. Jackson Schumann, a 6'10 senior, 13 and 4 on his stat line. And Hayden Howell, the sophomore, 6 feet, 9 points per ball game, and one of the top 3-point shooters in 4A. And Evan Hall, 6'5", he's a senior, 13 points, 4 rebounds, and he owns the paint. It'll be interesting, though, looking at Madison's bigs. Braxton Pierce he's a big kid. He's 6'5". He's got some rocks in his pockets. And Eli Randall is 6'5" and a pretty good build as well. We'll see what they can do with Evan Hall down low. The teams exchange pleasantries, and Madison will stay in town tonight and then play Green Canyon tomorrow afternoon at 4. So Randall and Schumann. Tatum Neal takes the tap, and the Bobcats' first offensive possession. Neal turns the corner, had it open for a minute, but they shut it in a hurry. Larson backs out looking at a man defense. He's going to go down the lane, has it knocked away and taken away. The Bobcats quickly the other way. Looking for a man around the corner. Pulling up and hitting is Lerwill. Larson and Neal play catch with it out top. Schumann looking down low. Instead he hands it back to Howell. Now it's Larson with it on the angle near side. On the roll to Hall, who turns and scoops it up and in. Will handles. Hands it off, and a long three on the way. Off the iron and rebounded by Hall. Looked like Pierce firing away from the outside. Couldn't get it to drop. And the Bobcats back on the offensive in a 2-2 ball game. Schumann, he's 6'10", he can hit that, and he does. We've seen him hit one of those every game we've done, at least one of those every game we've done of the Bobcats. Lurwell tries to turn the corner, nothing there, and goes back to Crane. Crane fires it up short. Rebound hits the floor, out of bounds, and Neal will trigger it in to Larson. Larson handles the Utah State commit. Number 15 for Skyview. Excellent defensive back. And punt and kick returner. Just unbelievable athleticism. He hits Hall on the roll, and Hall a little bit off balance. And they call the foul on Schumann. Pierce hit the deck, and you're going to say it was Schumann that fouled him. Crane to Lurwell, and Lurwell gets it over on the side to King. King looking for an opening, drives baseline, leans in and scores. Taden King with his first bucket. 5-4 Skyview, 5.5 to play in the first quarter. Schumann, who hit a three earlier, and now they're out on him. Neal turns the corner, dribbles it off his leg, and it's a second turnover for Skyview. Madison has yet to turn it over. Down the lane, and nearly and one for Madison as they call a foul. I believe they're going to call it on Larson. They do. Second team foul, and King will get free throws. He misses this one short. King's second free throw is good. Well, he ties it up at 5. His numbers are tough for weary old eyes like mine. Just got that white outline for their number. Schumann looking low into Hall, can't find him, so he goes back out front to Larson. Larson thought about it, but not for long. Neal, as they keep looking low for Hall. Long three on the way by Schumann, and it glances off the left side of the iron and out of bounds. Madison basketball. Lurwell will trigger inbounds, and Crane will bring it up. Into Pierce, backdoor cut by King, and one. Fell asleep on the edge to the Bobcats of Skyview. And King has 5 points, and he's going to the line for one more. Madison has a 7-5 lead. Misses the free throw, and Schumann cleans up. Neal got the foul. Schumann to Larson. Larson trying to drive, but there's a lot of bodies in there. Nice steal by Howell out front. It was tipped into the backcourt. It was tipped into the backcourt by one of the Bobcats of Skyview, and so that's a turnover for Skyview. Skyview with their third turnover of the quarter. They trail 7-5. Madison with the ball. Taden King, the guy with the ball, has been killing him. He'll give it to King. He loses it out of bounds. Who'd it go off of? And the officials are going to talk about it. The one underneath the basket looked like he was going to say Skyview ball, and the other one that was closer to the play says, no, it's Madison ball. King's got 5 of his team's 7 points. Out front to Crane. So King with it again. King's going to pull up for 3. No, he gives it on the roll, down low. And the bucket's good by Randall. Offensive foul as Larson was out of control. Got up in the air and ran right over one of the Madison players. That's the 4th team foul on Skyview. 2nd on Larson. So Larson will take a seat. And Caden Penrose into the ball game for the Bobcats, number 10. 9-5 Madison with a lead with 3:40 to play in the first quarter. Down low. Shot missed and rebounded by Hall. Penrose kicks it out to Neal. Neal's 3 off the iron and rebounded by Madison. Crane out ahead of everybody. Lay it up and in and one. Madison does not mess around when they get the ball. You hear Utah Jazz coach Quinn Snyder talk about playing with force. That's what Madison is doing. They're playing with force. They're playing fast. They're getting to the ball, rim. They're driving hard. Pierce is going to sit down. And the free throw's no good. Bracken Schumann rebounds. He missed some time with COVID. It was over the Christmas break, so none of his teammates got it. And one for Penrose as he answers on the other end. And the first free throw of the game coming up for the Bobcats. It's Skyview. Crane with his first foul. Hathaway will replace Crane. And Penrose trying to pull Skyview to within 3. And it's still a 4-point lead. Rebound tracked down by Wilson. Down low and a whistle. Whistle out front. What's the call? Oh, they call it on Lurwill. Tyson Lurwill picks up the offensive foul and the turnover for Madison. So under 3 minutes to play in the first quarter, 11-7 Madison leading Skyview in the latter half of this first period. Schumann thinks about a free throw line jumper, decides against it. Now on the roll, he puts it on the floor and lays it up and in. Pierce tried to draw the foul. And the official said, nah. And it's an 11-9 Madison lead. Pull-up Jay on the way. It's short, but King was fouled. Taden King's got 5 points here in this first quarter. And a chance to add to that total. 2:29 to play in the first. It's 11-9 Madison. King makes the first. Saxton and Carlson check in for Schumann and Neal for Skyview. King's second free throw up and in. He's got 7 points, and it's a 4-point Madison lead. Matches their largest of the game, 13-9. Penrose off the iron, too hard, rebounded by Madison. It's King. King's going to bring it up himself. Draw and kick and a charge. They call it on King. That's his first. 3rd team foul. For Madison, Skyview has 6. So the next foul on Skyview will be free throws for Madison. Madison will be shooting free throws the rest of the half. just under the 2-minute mark here in the first quarter. 13-9 Madison. Penrose looking for some help. Finds Saxon. His three won't go. Rebound fought for. And it hit the top of the backboard. So it's out of bounds. And we're going the other way. Hathaway inbounds to Lerwill. Lerwill back to Hathaway. Hathaway thought about a three for a minute, then hands it back to Uno. Another foul, offensive foul out front. They're going to call that on Randall, that outside official. She looked down in there, didn't like what was going on, called it on 2-3. That's another offensive foul. That's 3 turnovers for Madison, and all of them have been offensive fouls. Carlson kicks it into the corner. 3 on the way, won't go. Rebound by Saxton. Saxton kicks it out to Carlson. Nice defense by Madison. Skyview just is not getting good looks at all. Carlson turns and a little 1-foot fader goes. Carlson with his first bucket off the bench. And with 58 seconds to play in the first quarter, it's 13-11 Madison. Nearly taken away. But Lerwill keeps it in play. And Hathaway's going to hold. Looking for the back cut, it's not there. King comes up top. Instead they go to Wilson. Now Lerwill holds. 30 seconds to play in the quarter. Lerwill all the way in. Chases his own rebound and Madison comes up with it. It's Wilson. Randall faked the three and handed it back out to Lerwill. 12 seconds in the quarter. Randall with the jab step, spin to his left, miss it, rebounded by Schumann. 4 seconds. Saxton's fouled at midcourt with 2.2 seconds to play. He's fouled at midcourt by King, and that's 2 on King. .2 seconds for the Bobcats to try to tie this game up going into the second quarter or take a lead. Saxton looking, finds Penrose. He jacks one up and misses. The double clutch three won't go, and Madison takes a 2-point lead into the second quarter, 13-11. You're watching the Game of the Week on the Valley Channel.
Over the period of time, my hearing became worse and worse.
Over the course of the years, I developed a hearing loss, and I would not be able to hear my employees talk to me sometimes.
For Paul Dayton's and Cache Valley's integrity, his character, his background, his equipment, I would recommend him to anyone for a hearing aid specialist.
A pretty entertaining first quarter here in Smithfield, other than a lot of fouls. 11 fouls called in that first quarter. 6 on Skyview, 5 on Madison. Both teams playing pretty aggressively defensively, but didn't really get a game flow going because so many stoppages with all the whistles. Taden King with 7 to lead Madison. Jackson Schumann had a three-pointer, and that leads the scoring for Skyview. Skyview having a tough time getting a shot, and when they have gotten a look, they haven't been able to hit. So Crane back into the ballgame, and he'll handle against Neal. Give off to Lurwill and Crane in the corner right side. Looking low to King. They can't find him, and the three on the other side. Kept alive by Crane as he tapped it out. Oh, rolling his way to the bucket. I mean, like a truck. Was the big guy, Randall, but they call him for a travel. He wasn't going to be stopped. 4 turnovers now for Madison. Saxton gets inside, lay it up high off the glass and in. Titan Saxton with his first bucket, and we're tied at 13. Madison on the attack again. They go down low, look for that back cut, and one. As King is killing the Bobcats. He's got 9 points, looking for another one. They call it on Saxton. And Coach Hilliard is fairly animated. He didn't like that call. There's something about that whole sequence he didn't like, and he's having a chat with the guy in stripes about it. And King makes the free throw. Oh, they're going to say no shot. So they're going to say he was held before he makes the layup. So King makes 2 of 2. He does have 9 points. And Madison back out front, 15-13. Penrose loses it for a minute, gets it back, having trouble with it. Down low, Schumann's got position, lays it up, misses. Fights for the rebound, somehow gets it back, puts it up and in. So Schumann's got 4 points off the bench and a foul, clear out at midcourt on Saxton. He's on the hip of King, and King kind of slowed down. He ran right up his shoe and gets a cheap foul. That's a tricky play by King. Saxton now has 2 fouls. King's free throw is good. He's in double figures with 10. He shot 8 free throws. Here's number 9. So King shot 9 free throws in this ball game. Everybody else combined have shot 1. He's making his way to the line, making sure he's getting the calls. Knocked away from Neal. That's Riley Sutton that's in the ball game now. Tapped it away from Neal. Jackson, Schumann, and Evan Hall back into the game for Skyview. Saxton stays out on the court with 2 fouls. Penrose looking low, can't find Hall. Now he does. They double him up. Hall leaves it a little short. He turned around, it was there, but he left it just a little bit short as they doubled him. They brought help from the backside. Here's King kicking it back out front. Now he's got it on the right side, leans in, misses. Schumann was there to bother it. Rebounded by Madison. Sutton looked at the 3 and kicks it back out. Shot short as Hall was there. Neal jackknife it up and in. Neal with his first bucket. We're tied at 17, 5:45 to play in the first half, and an entertaining one here at Skyview. Here's King. He's got 11 points. King to Sutton. Sutton runs into Evan Hall. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Evan Hall is gigantic. And Hall just stood there. He turned around and stood there. He may have left his feet, but he was straight up. And Sutton hit him. And, it's just like running into a wall. Sutton hit the deck, and he'll go to the line for 2 free throws. Sutton hits his first. Madison still looking for their first field goal of this second quarter. They're 5 for 5 from the free throw line. in the quarter. Now 6 for 6 in the quarter from the free throw line. And they're 9 of 11 for the game. Penrose in trouble, pulls it down, hands it back, and Saxton eventually ends up with it. 19-17 Madison, 5:15 to play in the first half. Saxton leaves it for Hall, he's grabbed. Crane couldn't do anything else but grab the big guy. Make him try to earn it at the free throw line. Well, maybe that was Lerwill they called it on. That was on Lerwill, it's his second. Hall shoots 2, he misses the first. Only the second free throw of the night for Skyview. They're 0 for 2 from the line. They had free throw problems that cost them a game the other night. Now they're 0 for 3 from the line. In a close ball game, every shot counts. Down low, waiting for Schumann to go by his Pierce, and he still misses. Schumann actually comes back and swings his hand back and knocks it away. Looked like an easy 2 coming from Madison. Saxton long 3, rims out, rebounded out of there by Madison. That's Pierce with the board. Pierce gets it back to Crane, and then down low. They go back to Pierce, and he has it blocked, but they're going to say he was fouled. And he'll go to the free throw line for 2 shots. And that was on Schumann. His second. So more free throws for Madison. They're living at the line, and they're making a good living at the line. 7 for 7 in this second quarter. They have not hit a field goal in the second quarter. There's 4:29 to play in the first half, so we played nearly half of this second quarter. Madison hasn't hit a field goal, and they just missed their first free throw. They were 7 for 7 before that point, and they have a 3-point lead, 20-17. Skyview's having a tough time getting a shot against this Madison defense. And then when they do get a shot, it's usually one and done. Madison doing a great job, and here's a steal. Backside taken away from Carlson. And then it's loose again at midcourt. Madison comes up with it. Crane. Three on the way, won't go. Spencer Young was in the ball game for the first time. Rebounded by Skyview. Howell looking to tie it, got it. And that's what Howell does. His first shot of the game. And if he gets started, Madison won't like what they see. We're tied at 20. 3.5 to play. Here's that backdoor cut, and Howell falls asleep. And Lerwill just lays it up and in. First field goal of the second quarter for Madison, and they lead 22-20. 3 Madison Bobcats getting set to check in as we approach the 3-minute mark. Hall's going to try a 3 of his own. This one up and in. Off the front of the iron and creeps over. And the timeout called by the official on the floor, something on the floor. It's a 23-22 Skyview lead as they take the lead back for the first time in this quarter. Hathaway and King back into the ball game. Randall comes with him. And here comes Ike Larson, and Saxton will take a seat. Saxton 2 points off the bench. Hayden Howell goes over and gives Evan Hall 5 and said, yeah, you do it just like that. That's how us 3-point bombers do it, big man. Under 3 minutes to play now in the first half. 1-point Skyview lead at 23-22. They're looking down low. It'll up and under. Push shot won't go by Pierce. Looking for a call. He doesn't get it. And they say it's out of bounds off of Skyview. He went against the double team. Tried to scoop it up under the arms of Carlson. And then he chased the rebound and was knocked out of bounds by Skyview. King looks in. Pierce. Now back to Pierce. Oh, he's got great position. Lets the traffic go by and misses. Rebounded by Larson. Out to Howell. Howell scoops it to Penrose. They're looking inside. Can't find Paul. So they'll come back outside again. Look at him on the other side. Here comes the help defense from the backside. Instead, he turns baseline and puts it up and in. Evan Hall with 7 points. And it's a 3-point Skyview lead at 25-22. 3 on the way by Hathaway. Up and in. Off the back of the iron. Kicks up in the air and falls through. And now we're even on those kind of three-pointers as Hall hit one a moment ago. Just like that. Penrose with the drive to the right side, off the glass and in. Penrose has 4 points. That's 27-25 Skyview. King fires a straightaway 3, misses badly to the left. Here comes Larson. See if he tries to take it to the hole. Yeah, he will. Too hard. No foul, and we're going the other way. King down the middle, loses it. Turnover from Madison, and Skyview comes up with it. Penrose hits Carlson in the corner. He doesn't take the 3, instead he drives in. Knocked off balance, takes a little step, misses it, gets it back, and now a foul. And Randall can't believe it. He says, what am I supposed to do? I'm standing there with my hands straight up. And Randall just picked up his second. And Carlson goes to the free throw line. Carlson scored 2 points in the first quarter. A chance to give Skyview a 4-point lead. Carlson hits the first. Wilson and Young back into the ball game for Madison. They take Randall and Pierce out, those big guys. King's still in there. The 6'4" senior's going to handle. With 1 minute left in the first half and a 29-25 Skyview lead. King pulls up, jumps it, misses it short. Rebounded by Carlson. Carlson tries the Euro step scoop, and they're going to call the blocking foul on Madison. They're calling on Lurwell, and that's his third. And Carlson gets 2 more free throws. Carlson's hit 3 free throws in a row. Now he's hit 4 free throws in a row. And it's a 31-25 Skyview lead as they've gone on a run here in the last couple of minutes. 45 seconds to play in the quarter, in the half, and King is fouled by Penrose. So King will go to the line. Nine free throws. He's 7 of 9 for King. And he hits the first. And now he's 8 of 10. He's got 12 points. He's looking for another. Randall comes back into the ball game. King hits them both. 6 for 6 in this quarter from the free throw line for King. He's got 13 points to lead all scores. And it's a 31-27 Skyview lead. Larson working against that man defense, and they've got an offensive foul down low. They call it on Penrose. That's his third. So with 26 seconds to play in the first half, Caden Penrose just picked up his 3rd foul. It's an offensive foul. It's a turnover from Skyview. Their 5th turnover of the half. That matches Madison. And Madison will get a chance at the last shot if they want it. King's going to handle between the circles. King gives it up. 8 seconds. Now 6, the ball's free. Oh, that's going to be a foul. Howell's chasing that one, and he probably should have just let it go, because if there's any contact, the way this game's been called, they're calling it tight. And there's going to be a foul, and that's exactly what it was, because there was plenty of contact. And with 2.1 seconds to play in the half, Madison's at the free throw line. And the free throw's no good by Crane. "17 free throws in this first half for Madison. This is number 17. It's a miss. Rebounded by Carlson, and the quarterback heaves it. He misses everything. 31-27. Skyview leads Madison as we head to the locker room. You're watching the Game of the Week on the Valley Channel.
Bring back what you've been missing. Bring back Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology.
Dr. Daines, I suppose, along with everybody else in my age group, I am now getting bombarded on a daily basis, it seems, in the mail with hearing aid advertisements coming through the mail. I don't know if you... Really, I just throw them away, because I would say if I needed a hearing aid, here is where I'd come to see you. Are people in danger with these things? I mean, are you going to get a product that's legitimate? Are you dealing with real people, or is it a scam?
You usually get a product it's a decent product, but is it fit for you? Everybody's a little bit different, and we want to be able to have you come in and find out what works best for your individual needs. Some of these hearing aids that you can buy through the mail are not really anything but amplifiers. They turn things up, but simply not turning things up, that doesn't solve the problem. We need to personalize the hearing aid to your individual loss. And make it so what frequencies need to be boosted are boosted, and those that don't need to be boosted aren't.
Okay, so just turning up the volume on something isn't actually going to fix the problem?
It does not. No, we need to make it so it matches exactly what your hearing is.
I had no idea it was that complicated, because, you know, on the street, people might think, yeah, I can send away for one and it's generic and it'll work for everybody, but that really isn't the case.
It really isn't.
No.
And you also see a lot of times advertisements that say, come in for our free trial. We're offering a trial research, and come and give us your opinion on this hearing aid and we'll give you a discount. We're doing a special study with the manufacturer. Well, the manufacturers already have their study done.
Right.
They wouldn't be offering it to somebody here. They have their own research facilities that they do these studies at.
Okay.
And so the study is how many hearing aids they can sell.
Yeah.
It's not a real study.
Yeah, and so again, it's just down to people pushing a product that could be right for A, B, and C, but is not anywhere right for the rest of the alphabet people. But coming here to Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, you are going to find out exactly, if you have 100 different people walking through in a day, you're going to find the exact right, and some of them may not even need a hearing aid, and of course you're never going to push that.
I do not do that. That's one thing that I pride myself in, is I'm not a salesman.
Right.
I take care of people, help them meet their needs, and take care of them, and do what we can that way, but I will not push or pressure anybody to purchase a hearing aid.
Yeah. So even though you might be tempted, even though you get these in the mail like I do, don't be tempted, because ultimately it may not be at all what you personally need. Come on down to Cache Valley Hearing and see Dr. Daines, and he will find you exactly what you individually need. Thanks, Dr. Daines.
Thank you.
Bring back what you've been missing. Bring back Cache Valley Hearing.
So the factory, very much a Cache Valley institution, and we're still glad that you're around after all these years.
Yeah, you know, I've been here for a long time, and I'm still happy to be here. And hopefully we don't change anything. People like what we do, and that's a good thing, because we've been have a good response for the Cache Valley people. I never thought I had that many people or persons or friends or whatever you want to call it. They're good people. They've been showing me they care for me and the factory, and I'm here to take care of what I needed. And if I do something wrong, I appreciate it when they let me know, so I can fix it or do something about it to make it the best we can out of the factory.
So of course now at the moment they've got a super deal on here. It's free nachos when you order a large pizza, but they have to mention that they've seen it on the Valley Channel, right?
That's correct, because you know a lot of people, they don't have many packages of TV or whatever, so we want to support those people. They've been watching you guys and they supported me, and I like it when they come and mention, say, you know, we saw you out in the TV. It made me happy. People still remember the factory, and we want to do to appreciate those persons. We're here for them.
Well, you're always very appreciative because you're always giving things away and good deals like this. But of course, it's not just nachos and it's not just pizza. Tell us some of the other things that are on your menu.
Oh, you know, we have really good sandwiches. We have pastas too, and you know, we have desserts. We just mix it up a little bit what we can think we can do good, and people been responding really well. You know, and I want to do a special offer for like Tuesday night. You know, we want to do Halloween special from 5 to 6, only 1 hour, 50 cents Halloween. It's a Tuesday, every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday. Well, you can't say fairer than that, can you? Tell us where you are and how people can find you.
Yeah, we are located in 119 South Main in the basement, and we'd be happy to serve you anytime you come, and call us for all your parties or events. We can do pizza parties or sandwiches, those 6-7 foot long sandwiches. We're well to make it for them.
Lots and lots of nachos, because they're darn good. Thank you so much, Fernando.
Thank you, and I appreciate you guys for all the support you do in the Cache Valley, and all those people, my friends. They're not my customers. I consider my friends these days. Thank you.
Thank you. We stood in front of this fabulous looking sectional sofa. You can't keep this in, can you? Every time you get it, it kind of flies out of here.
Yeah, if you're looking for that sleek, really pretty, nice, clean line look, this is not it. This is the opposite of that. Yeah. But man, this messy, modular sectional look where you got the pillow tops that go on top of each seat cushion, the ottoman itself, it's just a pillow top, you know, that sits on a base. But this has been one of the most popular, and nationally in every store. I mean, even down east right now, it's their like number 1 or 2 seller in their whole store. But really, really popular look. This one's made by Jackson Furniture, so it gets the lifetime warranty, and the coils inside, the steel frame, it's built like a tank. But man, you can build them as big as you want. You can buy as many the armless chairs as you want to make them bigger, and just been a really that messy but super comfortable lounge sectional.
Well, you can imagine curling up on that in front of the fireplace. You've got good movie going, and you're in seventh heaven right there.
Exactly. If you want to just come and lounge and be on a soft piece of furniture, that is it. It is awesome. Comes in a couple different colors. They're both kind of lighter colors, but another unique thing about it is it's a clean, easy fabric that anything cleans off of it. All the covers are washable, and anything, literally anything, is supposed to clean off this thing. Wow. Really cool set.
Yeah, that's huge when you've got kids and animals, dogs jumping up and down and whatever, to be able to just unzip it all and throw it in the washer.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And that's what this is. It's down-filled as well on all the cushions, but It is just a great.
Yeah, I sat on it and you kind of sink into it, and it's just a glorious wraparound feeling, isn't it?
Yep, absolutely. We've kind of decided amongst ourselves that we're not going to sell this one off the floor because we sell so many of them, and every time we ever get it in the past, it's gone and we don't have it. And it's just been a really popular set over the past probably year or so. And anyway.
Yeah, so if you want this one, you're going to have to come in and really put the act on, crying, throwing yourself around kind of thing.
Right. And we have truckloads coming in of them, and we'll keep them in stock as much as we can. But yeah, it's a really good set.
So tell us where we are. Tell us how they're going to get hold of it.
All right, Palmer Home Furnishings down on the highway in Providence next to Big O Tires.
Yep. So if you're looking for the most comfortable, honestly, you could sleep on this thing and you'd think you're on you would be on a down bed, basically, wouldn't you? Come on down to Palmer's, Brett and the guys here would love to help you out. Thanks, Brett.
Thank you.
The start of a race is by far the most nerve-wracking part. The few moments just after the starter calls you up to the line, but before he shoots the gun, just the pure anticipation of the race. It's really an incredible feeling.
He has literally run thousands of miles since the 9th grade.
Just his sheer determination. Some athletes have a really tough time dealing with the pain. Alec is able to focus through it and reach that goal that he set.
Distance running is definitely a grind sometimes. When I took over as team captain, I had to motivate myself by watching my teammates who helped me to dedicate myself 100%.
He'd always go the extra mile, literally. He just made it fun in a different way that no one else could.
For cross country, he's there. For a class, he's there. He does marching band. He's focused, he helps the other students. Alec works hard every day in everything that he does.
Sometimes we as athletes and coaches, we'll put so much emphasis on the athletics and on the running, but at the end of the day, it's this big old heart, Thank you, Alec.
Running's not all about winning. It's a lot about improving yourself, being the best that you can be.
Your password is password, and everything you own is gray, Mike.
I thought you liked Basic, Mike.
That was before I had Wendy's made to crave chicken sandwiches. Now I know I can do better than Basic.
Upgrade from Basic with 3 new sandwiches on Wendy's Made to Crave menu. The barbecue chicken sandwich, avocado BLT chicken sandwich, and the sauce and bacon chicken sandwich. At Wendy's, we got you.
You need to take a long drive at exactly the speed limit.
The Game of the Week on the Valley Channel is brought to you by Icon Health and Fitness, changing lives with fitness innovation. Wendy's of Cache Valley, it's way better than fast food, it's Wendy's. Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, bring back what you've been missing. Palmer Home Furnishings, our low overhead means higher quality at lower prices. Aspen Dental, get that gorgeous smile you've always wanted. Custom Fence Company, privacy, security, peace of mind. Anderson Seed and Garden, growing better gardeners. The Logo Shop, we logo stuff, all kinds of stuff. KSM means music. Music is all we do. Factory Pizzeria, we're open late after the game. And the Valley Channel, Cache Valley's TV station for over 25 years. Well, welcome back to Skyview High School. Eric Olson along with you as Skyview and Madison battled it out in that first half. Skyview holding on to a 31-27 halftime lead. The visiting Bobcats were paced by Tayden King. He had 13 points. 4 points for Tyson Lerwill. He got into foul trouble with 3. 3 points for Rhett Hathaway. 2 points apiece for Logan Crane, Riley Sutton, and Eli Randall. And we talked about Lerwill. He had that 4 points, and Braxton Pierce only 1 point in the ball game. 17 free throws for Madison. They had an attacking, aggressive offense, and they went to the line 17 times. They were 12 of 17 from the free throw line. 5 turnovers for Madison, 5 turnovers for Skyview, as they were paced by Evan Hall's 7 points, 6 for Kason Carlson off the bench, 4 apiece for Penrose and Bracken Schumann. 3 points for Jackson Schumann, 3 points for Hayden Howell, Tatum Neal with a bucket, as well as Titan Saxton with a bucket. And Skyview outscored Madison 20-14 in that second period. It was about halfway through that second period before Madison finally got a field goal. In fact, Madison only had 2 field goals in that second period. The rest of their, 5 points, the rest of their 9 points came from the free throw line. Skyview from the line, 2, 4, 6, 7. They are 4 of 7 from the line. Other region games tonight. Well, Green Canyon's playing this Madison team tomorrow, and Ridgeline will play at Bingham tomorrow. But Grantsville and Logan, the only other Region 11 team playing tonight, and Grantsville is at Logan, and Grantsville leads Logan 25-18 at the half in that one. Both teams, well, they don't go back to their full starting lineup. Lerwill with his, let's see if he's out there, with 3 fouls, because they've got Hathaway starting now in this second half, and he didn't start the game. Yeah, Lerwill's 3 fouls have put him on the bench to start the second half. And Ike Larson gets his first points of the game off the backdoor cut. And that increases the Skyview lead to 6. Turnover. The passer was looking for a zig. The catcher zagged, and it goes out of bounds. Skyview with a 6-point lead and a chance to add to it. Less than a minute into this second half. Larson looks down low at Hall. Good defense down there. They can't get it into him. Schumann's going to turn and fire from 17, and he hits. Jackson Schumann has 5. And the Bobcats hit their first 2 shots to start this second half and open up an 8-point lead. Hathaway gets it out front to King. King was the big scorer in the first half, and he's got 2 more now. 15 points for Tayden King, the 6'4" senior. He knows what to do with the pill. 35-29, Skyview. Not quite 2 minutes into this second half. Schumann lets it dribble off of his leg, and he saves it back into the front court. Larson all the way to the rim, and he misses. And then he Curly Neal dribbles it down into the corner. Gets it back to Neal. His shot won't go. Tipped by Schumann. Lean back, put it up, miss, and he hits the deck. He'll go to the line. 6'10's hard to deal with. Randall picks up his 3rd. So now Randall and Tyson Lerwill have 3 fouls each. For Madison, Skyview got called for more fouls in the first half, but they spread them out. Madison's got 2 players with 3 fouls as Schumann misses the free throw. It was actually Sutton that started the second half, and Hathaway's in there now. Apologies for getting those 2 mixed up, as the second free throw is good for Schumann. So Hathaway on the court now along with Sutton and Crane. Here's Crane in the middle. His shot won't go. A little push shot. And rebound by Sutton. 3 on the way. Good. Crane drops the triple. Only the second three-point make of the night for Madison, and it's a 36-32 ball game. Skyview with the 4-point lead. Hall down low to Schumann, lay it up and in. A nice high-low game between the bigs. Schumann with 8. 38-32 Skyview. Crane puts on the brakes, and Neal runs out into the hallway, down the hall, past the vending machine and right to the water fountain. Hathaway gives it up to Crane. Sutton looking down low. They try to force it in, and Evan Hall gets a foul coming over the back. For Hall, that'll be his second. They're trying to get into Randall. He and Hall doing some banging down there in the paint. Here's King right down the lane, lay it up and in. King's like, here I come, try to stop me. And they haven't been able to stop him all night. He's got 17. Schumann up top. Now Neal. They're fronting Hall, and they can't find him. Here's Hall from 18. Straight away, won't go. Rebound, Madison. A 4-point ball game. Madison with the lead. Hall gets down there and a travel first. Boy, Hall bumped Randall. And I can see what the Madison coach is talking about. It looked like he bumped Randall, and instead it's a turnover. And Hall gets away with one, and the Bobcats of Skyview get the ball back. Neal in trouble in the lane. Fires up a shot that won't go. King will bring it across the timeline. King working on Neal, uses the Randall screen. King in the corner to Crane. Crane back out to Sutton. King gives it to Randall. Back to King. Madison's playing catch around the perimeter with it. King with the ball in his hands. He's got 17 points, 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. 38-34 Skyview. Oh, King broke both of Tatum Neal's ankles. And then he steps back and drops the triple. 20 points for Tatum King. And it's a 1-point ball game. Skyview 38-37 with 2:45 to play in the third. Schumann tries to answer, and he does. 8 points in the third quarter for Schumann, 11 on the game. And the 6'10 senior, who averages 13 points per game, is 1 bucket shy of that, and he gives Skyview a little bit of breathing room. Timeout on the floor, 41-37. Skyview with the lead. Well, the RPI came out for the first time this season, and here's what it looks like for Region 11 teams. Skyview is number 7, Logan is number 8, Green Canyon 10, Bear River 13, Ridgeline 14, and Mountain Crest 21. The top 15 or 16 or so get home games in the first round, and then after that, it's highest seed plays at home. So the first week of the playoffs, you got a Tuesday game and a Friday game. So if you're a high seed, one of those top, 4 or 5 seeds, you're probably going to be playing a home game all week. And then last year was Weber State. I think it's Weber State again this year. Skyview was the #1 seed last year on their way to the state title. So Skyview's going to put a little pressure on Madison, make them work a little bit. Taden King's put on a show. And this is him with the ball. He's got 20 points. Going to work against Tatum Neal. Neal shuts him down. Nice job after the last time out. He got put on roller skates and ended up hitting the deck. Pierce can't get a shot against Schumann. Now a 3 on the way by Crane. Rims around and out, and a rebound foul called on Pierce. Pierce picks up his first. The 6'5" senior staying out of foul trouble. Randall will take a seat. Looks like Wilson's going to come in for him. Wilson, the 6'4" junior. So they don't lose much height, but they lose a few cheeseburgers. And Randall's built a little stronger than that. Cousin to cousin as Schumann passes down low to Schumann. Bracken to Jackson, and a foul on the play. And Wilson picks up his first foul. That's the 3rd team foul on Madison. Skyview's been rung up once here in the 3rd. 1:50 to play in the 3rd. Bracken Schumann looks down low. Jackson Schumann looks down low to Bracken, and it's taken away. A turnover for the Bobcats. King lets the traffic go by, and that's some tall traffic. Double-decker buses, and he draws the foul. Bracken Schumann with his first foul. Skyview's 2nd team foul. This is actually Randall at the line and not King. And Randall hits the free throw, his first point since the first quarter. He's got 3 points. Sutton takes a seat. Hathaway comes in. Madison. Second free throw by Randall's no good, and Schumann with the rebound. Carlson in, and Bracken Schumann takes a seat. Jackson Schumann heads for the bench. Penrose is in there as well. Larson kicks it out to Carlson. Passes up the 3, gets inside. Tatum Neal's looking at a 3, misses, and rebounded by Randall. I don't think Larson's got a steal tonight. He averages nearly 2 a game. Here's one of those backdoor cuts, and Neal gets his hand in there to knock it away. Larson with the layup at the other end, misses, and the miss on the follow by Neal, and it's rebounded out of there by Randall. An offensive foul called on Madison. Hathaway drove into the lane, kicked it out into the corner, and he ran over one of the Bobcats. Hathaway with his first foul. 3rd team foul. Check that, 4th team foul on Madison. 41-38, 52 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Skyview leads Madison. Madison, one of the top teams in 5A in Idaho. Skyview ranked number 2 in 4A here in Utah. Saxton and Larson play catch with it. Larson down the middle, bumped, puts it on the glass, won't go. Larson tracks down the rebound. Larson lays it off, and a dunk by Schumann, but they say no shot. They call a foul first on the pass, as Larson ended up flat on his back. Pierce picks up his 2nd. 5 team fouls now on Madison. Foul was on the pass, so Skyview will throw it inbounds underneath their own bucket with 27 seconds left to play in the 3rd. And a 3-point lead, and Skyview turns it over. Saxton like a wide receiver that's running before he catches the ball. He turns the corner and glances at the ball, then looks into the paint, and it bounces off him and out of bounds. 20 seconds to play in the third. King will bring it across the timeline for Madison, and a 3-point Skyview lead. Pierce kicks it back out to Hathaway, now back to King, 8 seconds. He gives it up. I thought King would take the last shot for sure. He will for the tie. Got it! We're tied up at 41. And we're heading to the fourth quarter in Smithfield. Madison and Skyview all knotted up at 41.
Hi, Cache Valley. This is Fernando over the Factory Pizzeria. We're running a special right now. We're giving a free nachos when you buy a large pizza with 3 toppings. Just mention this out and you're gonna get a free nachos every time you come. The Factory Pizzeria is located in 119 South Main, below the Gia's in the basement. Come see as soon as you can. Thank you.
Vehicle won't start? We can fix that. Not running right? We can fix that. Won't stop? We can fix that. Auto Evolution, honest service at a fair price on Airport Road.
Wow, only 10 points for Skyview in that third quarter. They're outscored 14-10. They had a 31-27 lead at halftime. And now we're all knotted up at 41. And you look at the scoring, Taden King's got 23 points. He had 10 in the third quarter. 1 point in the third for Eli Randall, a 3-pointer for Logan Crane, and that's it for Madison. Skyview, only 2 guys scored. Jackson Schumann had 8 points in that third quarter, and Ike Larson had a bucket, and that's it. So an 8-minute ball game. All tied up at 41. Pierce was open down low. They couldn't find him. Randall's going to try a 3. Why not? Eli Randall now with 4 points. Excuse me. 6 points. He did score in that third quarter, a free throw. Carlson hits the deck. Howell's 3 rims out. Madison with the rebound, and King brings it across the timeline. 3-point Madison lead. Randall hit the last one. He was feeling frisky down low. Pierce, a foul down low as Carlson bumped him. Only the third team foul on Skyview. Kason Carlson picks up his first. Hall and Schumann are going to come back into the ball game. Jackson Schumann. Jackson Schumann and Bracken Schumann are cousins. And those are some tall jeans. Boy, that looked like a travel. Looked like he slid his foot, the ball carrier. A timeout for Madison. They want to talk about it. Talk about those Schumann tall jeans. 6'10" for Jackson, and Bracken is 6'7". And one family hogging all the height. You know, just a couple inches, and I'm at 6 feet, but the Schumanns are hogging all the height. Good for them. Bracken, a heck of a football player as well. I mean, you got a state championship team. You know they're going to have some good athletes. Schumann on that team. Kason Carlson, of course, he's the 4A MVP, the quarterback on that team. Saxton, Larson, and Evan Hall, all standouts for that Skyview team. Skyview team full of standouts on the football field. You know, and one thing this year basketball-wise, they won the title last year We're getting an update. Grantsville leads Logan 32-26. That game's tightened up at the end of the third. You know, last year they had a couple of go-to guys. They had Mason Falsliff, who's on a mission right now. He's going to be playing at Utah when he gets back, unless someone talks some sense into him and gets him up here at Utah State. I mean, that kid's as good as they come. And he's a guy they could just turn to when they needed a bucket. Sam Phipps was also a guy that just seemed like he could score whenever he needed to. And I don't know that Skyview has that guy this year. They've got a good team. They've got very good pieces. But who does this team turn to when they have to have a bucket? And I think that's something they're trying to figure out as a team. And that'll be a journey. Region play starting next week. They're at Bear River in that game. 3 on the way, won't go. Rebound by Madison. King down the lane, gives it off, and Randall lays it in. Randall with 8. 5 here in the fourth quarter, and it's a 5-point lead, and a foul out front. Lurwill just picked up his 4th. And that's the 6th team foul on Madison. Free throws the rest of the way for Skyview. The Bobcats only 3 team fouls. Madison hasn't been able to draw as many fouls here in this second half as they did in the first. Try to go down low to Hall. It's knocked away, and Howell misses the little bunny. I'm sure he'd love to have that one back. And a 5-point Madison lead with 6:10 to play in the game and the ball. There's that back cut for King. King has 25. Skyview needs a bucket. And then on the other end, they need to stop. They've been outscored 7-0 to start this fourth quarter, and Hall gives them the bucket. Hall puts it up and in. 48-43 Madison. Skyview wants a timeout. They're going to take a full timeout. Trailing by 5. That bucket by Hall gives him 9 for the game. He averages 13. They've had a hard time getting him the ball tonight. Madison's done a great job. They will front him and then bring backside help and just not giving him any room to operate. Hall leading the team in points and rebounds. Talked about Howell, how he's 5th in 4A and 3-pointers. He's hit 1 tonight. He's really only shot 1. Jackson Schumann's your block leader for this team, 2 blocks per game. He's got a couple here tonight. Mike Larson yet to register a steal. He's the team steals leader. And Caden Penrose, he's the dime king. He's handing out assists left, right, and center. Future Valley Channel games next week on the 15th. We're going to see the Logan Grizzlies and the Mountain Crest Mustangs for the first time this season. Mountain Crest at Logan. Then on the 22nd, we'll have Ridgeline at Skyview. That ought to be an interesting one. Caden Cox recovering from a broken leg that he suffered in that playoff game against Skyview. Back playing with the Ridgeline team, I understand. Then Skyview Mountain Crest on the 29th. In the last half of February, we're going to see Green Canyon twice, Logan twice, and Ridgeline twice, then the playoffs as we get into that last week of February. So 6 weeks of basketball left, not including the playoffs. Randall's going to fire up another 3. This one won't go, and it's rebounded by Howell. 5-point Madison lead. So Skyview finally got a stop. Now they need another bucket. They're looking at Hall. Instead, Penrose is going to fire for 3. Rims around and out. Rebounded by Randall. That was actually Pierce with the board. King fakes the 3, gives it to Pierce, gets it back. Now fakes the 3 and drives. Pull up from 13. 27 for Taden King. King's earning his crown tonight. Schumann firing up 3. Way too long and rebounded by Madison. Somehow it ends up in the hands of Tatum Neal, and Neal connects on a 3-pointer. And it's 50-46. And they're all pointing to a spot out on the floor. Don't know if that's where somebody fell down and a wet spot out there. And the 4A MVP football player is the guy out there with the towel cleaning it up. That a kid. Be a leader. So they're telling both teams, all right, come on back out. That was a big bucket for Skyview. Brings them back to within 4. They're down by 7. They had a miss and go back the other way. And Taden King's got it going on. He's got 27. He got it started in that first quarter. 7 points in the first. He had 10 in the third. Now Madison kind of slowing it down a little bit. Midway through this fourth quarter, 50-46 Madison. Two of the best teams in their respective divisions in their respective states going at it. They call it on Tatum Neal. So Tatum Neal picks up his second. 4th team foul on Skyview. King has to give it up. Looks down to Pierce against Schumann. Nice little push shot by Pierce. Can't get it to go over Schumann, and Schumann comes out with the rebound that's knocked out of bounds. He should have picked that dribble up about 2 steps earlier and waited for a guard. But you know how those big guys are. They all want to be guards. They don't get a chance to bring it up very often. So when they do, they take advantage. 3:45 to play in the ball game. Penrose back to Neal. It's a 4-point Madison lead. Penrose left without the ball. He goes and flags it down. Howell can't get open for a 3. Cross-court pass. Out of bounds goes Neal. Those skip passes all the way across the court are tough. And Skyview with the turnover. Their first turnover of this fourth quarter. They've got 8 in the game. Madison also with 8. So 3:25 to play now in the ball game. Madison nursing a 4-point lead. King with the ball. He's got 27. I think the real only question we have about Madison is King going to get to 30? Down low, Randall's going to lay it up and in. Because everybody's worried so much about King. Randall's got 7 in the quarter and 10 for the game. An offensive non-factor until this fourth quarter. And at winning time, Randall goes to work. They look low to Hall. Hall runs over a man, and they call the offensive foul. Pierce was standing on Hall's hip. Hall took the catch, and he turned around and put the ball on the floor. Took 1 step. Pierce hit the deck like a sack of potatoes, and it was an easy call for the official. 6-point Madison lead, and Skyview's going to press. Here's King out in front of everybody as Neal tries to track him down. The official watched that ball, and when it didn't fall, he blew the whistle. I think if it would have went in, he would have just swallowed the whistle because there was some contact. But you'll see officials do that. If it affects the play and the shot's missed, they'll blow the whistle after. Fans don't like it, but it's not really that bad a thing. King's got 28. As Madison slowly pulling away from Skyview. Skyview's only scored 5 points in this fourth quarter. King hits them both. Skyview's been outscored 13-5 in this fourth quarter. Taden King with 6 in the fourth, 7 from Randall. So 2 guys are beating the Bobcats. Skyview with 2 turnovers in the quarter. Coming off that tough loss against Bonneville. And unless things change, they're on their way to their 2nd loss in a row and their 3rd of the season. Evan Hall's on the bench with 3 fouls. He's got 9 points. Jackson Schumann has 11. He had a big 3rd quarter with 8 points, but hasn't scored here in the 4th. And the same with Howell. Howell's been limited to 1 3-pointer on the game. He hasn't been able to get free. They have defended him well. He's really got 1 clean look at a 3, and he dropped that one. Carlson straddling the 3-point line, hits a long 2. The Skyview wants another timeout to set up their defense as they cut the lead down to 6. Carlson's got 8 off the bench. Carlson's first points of the 2nd half. Skyview plays Century, another Idaho team, on the 12th. I believe that's next Tuesday. And then they open region play at Bear River. We talked about a stat at the beginning of this game. Madison scores 63 a game, but they only give up 42 per game. Skyview scores 66. Madison has held Skyview to 48. So 18 points under their average if the game were to end now. We'll see how many more points Skyview can put on the board, but Madison defensively has really been impressive. Larson, Neal, Carlson, Saxton, and Penrose as they go small. The Bobcats do. Schumann and Hall are both on the bench. Both Schumann, or Schumans, yes, are on the bench. Now talking is hard. There's that backdoor cut, and Crane got a step on Titan Saxton. How many times has that happened tonight? Not just to Saxton, but to Skyview's wing guys. They just got their head turned the wrong way. And that little scissor cut goes backdoor. And Saxton will head to the bench with 3 fouls. And Crane gets 2 free throws. Nope, 1 and 1. Here's the other thing that's gone right for Madison here in this 4th quarter. We started this 4th quarter, it was 6 team fouls on Madison, 3 on Skyview. They've called 4 fouls on Skyview in this quarter and none on Madison. So Madison's gone back to attacking the ball and attacking the rim and being able to get to the free throw line. And Skyview hasn't been able to get to the line at all. Hasn't been able to draw fouls. Back out to an 8-point lead. Corner 3 on the way from Carlson. Misses everything. Schumann back in there now, and he couldn't find the rebound. Randall came up with it. Here's King with 29 points. And we're under 2 minutes to play. A 7-point 4th quarter for Skyview, and it was tied at the break. And the foul on Tatum Neal. Tatum Neal picks up his 4th, and more free throws for Madison. 1 and 1 coming for Logan Crane. He missed his first 2 free throws of the game, then just hit 2 a moment ago. And he hits that one. He's hit 3 in a row. So he has 6. Pardon me, he's got 8. Missed a bucket there. Now he's got 9. 6 for 6 from the free throw line for Madison here in this 4th quarter. And it's a 10-point Madison Bobcat lead. Carlson kicks it out to Penrose. Penrose in the corner to Neal. The corner 3 is short. Rebound by Pierce. Neal trying to draw the charge. And the Stripes say, yeah, no way. When you hit the ground like that, the first thing you do is look at the ref. You're usually not going to get the call. Good idea. But with 1:19 to play, it's a 10-point ball game. Madison rolling on their way to 8-2. (17-7), they've outscored Skyview here in this fourth quarter. Skyview had a big second quarter. Other than that, though, they had 11-point first, a 10-point third. They lost the first quarter by a bucket. They lost the third quarter by 2 buckets. Won that second quarter by 6 points. And they're getting crushed here in the fourth quarter. And Tayden King has scored 29 of Madison's 58 points. So he scored half of Madison's points. And he's certainly been the king here tonight. He had 13 at the half. 16 in the second half. Skyview's not really pressuring all that much. They did a good job looking for the back cut that time. It wasn't there, so Madison backs it out. They'll try something else. Now here comes the pressure, and there's a turnover. Penrose takes it away. Neal out to Howell. Straightaway 3 off the front of the iron. Schumann can't get it to go, and he'll go to the line. So a chance for points for Skyview with the clock stopped with 47.6 seconds left in this ball game. Randall picks up his 4th. That's the first foul on Madison in the fourth quarter. Comes with 47 seconds left. So that has certainly helped Madison. But Skyview, you know, they weren't really attacking things inside. They were shooting outside jumpers. Madison went back to being aggressive and trying to drive the ball, and they ended up on the free throw line a lot. It's a pretty simple equation. Schumann hit both free throws. He's right on his season average of 13 points. He'll sit down. Saxon will replace him. And an 8-point ball game with 47 seconds left. Both teams in the penalty, 1-1. Skyview will try to aggressively force a turnover. Madison calls timeout. Crane, Lerwill, no, that was Crane, tripped and fell. The Skyview crowd wanted to travel. The Madison crowd wanted a foul. They didn't call either. Madison gets a timeout, and we'll take a little bit of a rest for a minute, and then both teams will come back out onto the floor. You know, those travels when the guys fall down are a funny thing. If you fall on your face and slide with the ball, you don't see a travel very much. If you fall on your rear end and slide with it, you see the travel all the time. And that's a question I've been going to ask some of the officials I know, that why is it that way? And when I see them, I always forget to ask them. Because instead I'm heckling them about being blind and such. I'm just kidding, man. That is a tough job. I wouldn't want to do it. I've got a couple of friends that officiate, and some of the horror stories they tell me about dealing with kids and coaches and parents. But they love it, and it's a hard job. Somebody's got to do it. And this crew tonight's been consistent, and that's what you really ask for. Pierce gives it to Randall, and then Carlson runs into him hard. Carlson's second foul. That's the 9th team foul. It's the double bonus after this. 35 seconds on the clock. And an 8-point Madison lead as they've blown this game open here in the fourth quarter. And Randall is one of the reasons. Randall with 11 points. He's got 8 in the fourth. Seven for 7 from the free throw line in this quarter for Madison. He misses the second. Ball nearly saved back in by Crane. Howell, pull up three, got it. Timeout Skyview. They don't have many left. It's a 6-point ball game with 27 ticks on the clock. And Howell drains his second three-pointer of the night. Howell with 6. He's been quiet tonight. He averages 9. Most of them come on threes. Madison's been in his pocket all night long. It was interesting watching the JV game. Madison had a freshman on that team. He had the green light. Now I got here in the second half and saw him in the second half. And the first half, I'm told by some people that were already here that kid was hitting left, right, and center. He's a freshman, right? So he's 14. He looks like he's 8. He's not very big, and I saw him in the second half. And he's firing up threes as soon as he came across the timeline. He shot shots as soon as he got off the bus. He had no fear and no conscience. And he missed all the ones I saw him put up. But the people that were here watching the game earlier said, yeah, he was draining all those in the first half. So Madison's got themselves a sniper coming up, I guess. Oh, double dribble or a kick? Kick. That would have been huge if it was a double dribble for Skyview, but instead it stays with Madison. Madison did a good job breaking the press. Here's King. I'm going to say, just hold the ball, son. They'll foul you. You'll go to the line, get your 30. Tatum Neal fouls out with 5 points. Braden Alder will replace Neal. King's free throw up and good. He's got 30. Twelve of his 30 have come at the line. And that's where you pick up extra points. Kids, hit free throws, and your scoring average will come up. 31 for King. Saxton fires a long three. Rebound fought for. Picked up by Crane. He's fouled by Carlson. And that'll do it. With 11 seconds left in the game, Crane will shoot free throws. Carlson picks up his third. Crane with a chance to take the lead out to double digits. Crane misses them both. Howell's long three won't go. That goes out of bounds. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 27, 29. 31 free throws tonight for Madison. And they earned them. And they get the win. 61-53 over Skyview. It was tied and going into the fourth, and Madison came through in the clutch for the W. Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time on the Valley Channel.
The Game of the Week on the Valley Channel is brought to you by Icon Health and Fitness, changing lives with fitness innovation. Wendy's of Cache Valley, it's way better than fast food, it's Wendy's. Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, bring back what you've been missing. Palmer Home Furnishings, our low overhead means higher quality at lower prices. Aspen Dental, get that gorgeous smile you've always wanted. Custom Fence Company, privacy, security, peace of mind. Anderson Seed and Garden, growing better gardeners. The Logo Shop, we logo stuff, all kinds of stuff. KSM means music. Music is all we do. Factory Pizzeria, we're open late after the game. And the Valley Channel, Cache Valley's TV station for over 25 years.
They would tell me something and I'd say, huh? And then they'd tell me again and I'd say, huh? And they'd say, never mind. And so I called and made an appointment.
Say the word pass.
He's a PhD and I know what it takes to get a PhD.
Say the word red.
It was like night and day. And then the hearing test was the thing that I thought, wow, he really knows what he's doing. I would recommend Dr. Daines to anybody, everybody.
Fernando, before we go any further, let's remind people that you are open here at the factory, and you have been open all this time, and business is really good, and you'd still want to invite people in.
You know, the factory's been doing good, even this thing going in town and all over the world. We appreciate all the people from Cache Valley supporting all of these months and all these years, but this last month's been harder. But we're still here and we don't plan to go anywhere.
Right. Well, you've been here a long time. Not you personally, but the factory's been here for decades, really.
Yeah, you know, I've been here for 28 years, so, right. So that's a long time. Yeah. But I'm still happy to do my job and I still enjoy it. And I appreciate the whole people of Cache Valley and out of Cache Valley to support the factory, and thanks to, and hopefully we do the best we can. And actually, we want to offer special for the people following in the Cache Valley channel. Okay. We're going to give it a free nachos when they buy a large pizza. They just got to mention to us and say, we hear they out in the Cache Valley channel and you owe us a nacho. And we will honor the offer anytime.
And look at that deliciousness that they're going to get right here. A free nacho. So anybody following the Valley channel, you come in, you say, we saw this ad on the Valley channel, and we'd like to claim the free nachos, because they're not going to get it, are they, unless they mention the ad?
That's correct. Yeah, if they don't mention, we can give it to anybody. But if you mention we saw you, say we're going to give you a free nacho. You earn your nachos right there, automatic.
And there they are, so good looking. Tell us a little bit about other things that have been going on. You're busy here all the time. You have certain nights, don't you, that you do things on?
You know, we have a Monday night special for the families to come. Yeah. You know, they get a couple drinks for free when they come on Monday nights. And we have a Wednesday night for the college kids, and people want to get a little bit out of this the stress relief, we call it. We have $1 draft and a $4 nachos, and I think that's a pretty good way to the kids to go out of the campus for a couple hours and study and come enjoy a good time to the factory.
Definitely. Tell us where we are, Fernando, and how we can find you guys.
We're located in 119 South Main in the basement. So anytime, we open 7 days a week from 11 to 11, or on the weekends 11 to midnight, and when the game's on, we stay open long as we need, and people knows me. If you call me later and I'm still here, I'm still gonna make you food.
Yeah, because you do support local sports, right?
Yeah, I support, like Logan High, Mount Crest, Skyview, Raceline, Green Canyon, the Aggies. After the games, a lot of people come, and that's how we stay in business, just by the local people support me, so I'm happy to do what I do.
Well, definitely a local institution that we're all really glad you're still here. And you're right here on Main Street. You can't miss it. It says the factory right outside here. Come on down. Claim your free nachos, because it doesn't get much better than free nachos, especially here at the factory. Thanks so much, Fernando.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate you guys for all the support for all these years, and hopefully we'll be here for a long time.
You will.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.